Hello and welcome to the Everything is Black and White podcast. I'm Musgrove here. I hope you guys are well. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Get into the comments as well and let me know what you think about this video. We are a Newcastle United channel, but at times we will talk about the big topics in football away from Tyneside. The topics that are making people angry and the topics that are probably making me a little bit angry. And if you follow this channel and you follow our podcast, you know one of the things that makes me angry about football is VAR. Not VAR itself, not the tool, because in theory it's a very good tool. I'm all for it. It should correct mistakes made on the pitch and it should make things a little bit fairer. My anger comes at those who use it because quite clearly they're not capable of using it. And surprise, surprise, here we are again. The opening weekend of the Premier League season, after the end of last season, after the summer where you had Howard Webb, who's in charge of running VAR, saying he's going to up standards. Things are going to get better because we know last season was an absolute. It was rubbish, wasn't it? I was going to swear that, but I'm not. It was rubbish. VAR was a joke. How are we here? The opening weekends, we're not even having a debate about those running VAR and saying, are they up to scratch? We're just saying it. We've concluded. I've concluded. I'm sure you guys concluded. Those in charge of this tool are not capable of using it to its full potential. They're not capable of using it for exactly the purpose it was brought in for. And the instant that sparked it, well, it's behind me over my shoulder, isn't it? Banana on the Wolves player, Sasa Kalajdzi, in the last few minutes of the game at Old Trafford. A game in which Wolves were the better side, but ended up losing 1-0. This should have been a penalty. In real time, I thought it was a penalty. Now, the on-field referee, Simon Hooper, didn't blow for it. He allowed play to continue. Should he have awarded it in real time? There are some who says he was in a good position and maybe he should have done, but alas, that's what VAR is for. That is where Michael Salisbury, who was the video assistant referee, should have been in the ear of Simon Hooper. And he should have gone, go over to the monitor and reevaluate your decision. Because I think if Simon Hooper looks at this on the monitor, he comes to the conclusion, as we have all done, it is a penalty. Onana is nowhere near the ball. He doesn't even need to come out to do that. Why is he jumping out like that? He's clapping to the Wolves players. It is a stone wall penalty. Why hasn't the video assistant referee instructed Simon Hooper to go over to the touchline and look at this? That is the most baffling thing about all of this. They say they don't want VAR to get too involved. They don't want VAR to be overturning every decision that the referee has made. Well, Simon Hooper didn't even make a decision yet. He just let play continue, probably on the proviso that he would get something in his ear, someone would be advising him. But it didn't come. And now he's not on the list for referees this weekend. He's been punished, in my opinion, for someone else not doing their job. It's oddly baffling. Let Simon Hooper make a decision, an informed decision. Let him look at the replay. And then if he doesn't want to award the penalty, I wouldn't have too much of an issue with that. I would still think it's a penalty, but he's gone over, he's applied his logic, his theory behind this challenge and gone, I don't think that's a penalty. But he's had the chance after watching the replay. By not instructing him to go over, it's pointless. You might as well scrap VAR. What is the point of it if you're not going to tell the referee to go over and have a look? It is, my mind, honestly, just utterly baffling. You know, like I said there, Simon Hooper and Michael Salisbury and the other video assistant referee, Richard West, not on the cards for refereeing this weekend. They've been rested, is the word, but in reality, let's say they've been dropped, haven't they? And deservedly so, especially Michael Salisbury. I do feel a little bit for Simon Hooper because, you know, the other two should have been advising him and should have, like I say, told him to go over to the monitor. Am I shocked at this? No. Am I surprised? No, because we saw last season it was just awful, and I never really thought Howard Webb's words of improving it were going to ring true. For some reason, it just doesn't work. They just haven't got the people to use it properly. And if you're Wolves, right, you're likely to be in a relegation scrap. You go down by a point. This is the point. This is the point. That could be the difference between Premier League survival and relegation to the Championship. And from a Newcastle point of view as well, likely to be doing battle with Manchester United for Champions League spot. Imagine if Newcastle miss out on a spot in the Champions League by 3 points. Man United beat them to it. This could be the 3 points. And yes, you'll say, well, Newcastle, nothing to do with this. They'll go out and win games, etc. Yes, okay. But, you know, when it comes down to numbers, it could happen. And this is why VAR, it's so frustrating, because it was brought in to eradicate all of this. No one should be done unfairly. The game, the points should be awarded to those who deserve it. And we're talking about the difference between a Champions League spot, a relegation to the Championship. Like, oh, man, how are we here again? Honestly, it'd been a great weekend of football, not just for Newcastle United, but it's been really entertaining, hasn't it? We had 2-2 draws, Chelsea, Liverpool, some really good football. Spurs, Brentford, great game. Great to see Luton back in the Premier League. But we're not talking about any of that. We're talking about VAR failing yet again. But hey, Howard Webb's apologised, apparently. Hey, it'll make all the difference. It'll make all the difference. There's been an admittance that there should have been a foul from those running the referees. Well, that makes all the difference to Wolves, doesn't it? It does. Yeah. We'll take the apology. We'll go with it. And should Wolves be relegated to the Championship at the end of the season, I'm sure they'll be framing that apology and sticking it on the wall at the Molineux. We got an apology from Howard. How many apologies is Howard Webb going to give out? How many apologies has Howard Webb given out? Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Some people will say it's a bias against Manchester United. Look, I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe that there's a bias in favour of Manchester United or any of the so-called top six sides. I just think the people who used VAR just are not up to it. And it's an absolute disgrace. And I don't see it improving anytime soon. I genuinely think if they're not going to get ex-professionals in to help out and make the decision making a little bit better and actually hand it to players who have played the game, scrap it. What is the point? What is the point of creating all this controversy if you're not going to use it properly? Absolutely baffling, absolutely fuming at it. I just couldn't believe it. But like I say, I'm not surprised we're here again. Let me know in the comments what you think about VAR. It has to improve. It doesn't, scrap it. I'd scrap it for this weekend, because we will be back. If it's not next week, the week after, we'll be back in the next coming weeks talking about how VAR has failed yet again. And it shouldn't do. It's a brilliant piece of technology. Get the right people in charge of it. Serve its purpose. Let's not have this conversation again, but I fear we will do. But hey, that's just VAR for you, isn't it? I've been Andre Musgrove. This has been Everything's Black and White podcast. Please hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and we'll see you very soon.